right, so
We're recording now.
we're recording now.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, hi everybody, I'm Damien. This is Alex, and we are joined today by Ian from Adamic. Very excited to have you here with us.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
So, if you don't care, I'd like to start with some icebreaker questions. A few of those. Tried to make them like relevant to people's interests and not just like pizza or tacos and stuff like that.
Right.
So, the first one is just what is the highlight of your week?
Highlight of my week. I do HR, so like my job is like hiring people, orientating them, and I got to like orientate these two kids together. And like usually it's like a real formal professional affair, and they were like the coolest kids in the world. And like this whole week has been nothing but work. So the highlight of my week has been getting to hang out with those two kids, and they just like made my whole day.
So, you just answered my second icebreaker question. Is what do you do outside from music?
Oh, yeah, HR for the biggest retailer in the world. So take a wild guess.
That's pretty impressive.
It sounds really impressive.
It sounds very
that
impressive.
way.
I do like all the blue. You know what I mean? That's my
Yeah.
favorite thing about it.
Blue and spark and
Yeah.
all that.
So, let's get into the musical questions, musical icebreaker questions. If you were offered a spot on a national tour with a solidified act right now, with your career in HR,
Yeah.
would Adamic be prepared to accept? And I'm not saying just like some over-popular act. I just mean like a working band.
I'd say so. I mean, I don't know what it would require, but we'd figure it out.
Any kids? Anything like that?
No kids. I'm married, single dude. Bachelor life.
So, if Adamic, you speak for Adamic today,
Okay.
could open for any active touring band, would it be?
Oh my gosh. It depends on who of us you ask. If you're asking me, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of who's big and who's cool. Like that's what comes to mind. Spirit Box is the first thing that comes to mind. Like they're something I love right now, and they have quite the following. And it seems to be growing all the time. So I know they haven't done a headline tour yet, but I want to open for Spirit Box. Absolutely.
So we'll choose one. These are two bands I know you're a fan of. So choose one.
You're gonna kill me.
Bring Me the Horizon or Dance Gavin Dance.
That's evil.
Like the hardest question.
I
of
know.
all time.
I'm gonna say Bring Me the Horizon.
I figured.
That's yeah.
They seem to have it together quite a bit more.
Yeah, I feel strongly for DGT too.
So when did you start playing music?
Man, I started like tinkering around on the drums when I was 5 years old. My dad's a drummer, so there was always a kit around. So probably 5 years old, I was messing around on the drums. And when I didn't really start seriously playing until I was 11 or 12. I think that was 18 years ago.
Punk or grunge?
Grunge.
That was a quick answer. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm not a big punk guy.
Oh, okay. Get out of my head.
Time to go.
I'm just joking. So, you don't have to answer this, but I'm genuinely curious. So, is Adamic a Christian band or a band of Christians? And is there a difference?
You'll never hear me call it a Christian band. I never want to pigeonhole it or put a ceiling on it. I'm a Christian, and everything I make gets filtered through that. It doesn't mean everything is a worship song or explicitly Christian, but yeah, that's how I like to define it. We're just a band.
That's cool. That's cool. That's what a lot of bands say when asked that question. I didn't really want to ask you the question,
Right.
but for those who might be listening, I consider myself a Christian. However, I mean, I almost don't listen to any Christian bands, and
Right.
the ones I do listen to, that's the answer they give usually. Is
Yes.
we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves
Right.
within that. So I was curious.
I myself was actually curious about this because I kind of found out that I was going to be doing this interview at the last minute. So I didn't really have a lot of time to prepare.
Right.
But yeah, I was very curious about that.
That's how we like to do things around here. Last minute,
Hey,
unprepared.
pressure produces good work.
Very punk rock.
It is very punk rock.
So you kind of already answered this. Is your dad the only musician in the family?
No, it's like all around. So my dad's a drummer. All three of his brothers are musical. Two of them are primarily guitar players. One of them can play any instrument. And then on my mom's side, my grandfather was a violinist, fiddle player. He played Grand Ole Opry, all that kind of thing. So it's on both sides, all around. And Erin, of course, my sister, is a really killer singer.
Yeah, she is. So how long have you and Josiah been playing together? Maybe talk about Nail Driven for a minute.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Him and I have played together like musically since we were in 5th grade. So we were like 11. Yeah, we were in Mr. Wright's Electric Orchestra. Probably you guys remember that?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. So yeah, that was the first time him and I formally like played together.
I actually had one of the CDs back in the day.
Do you still got it? I've got it like with like the line art with the star on it. Yeah, I've got that home somewhere. So like I gotta do math. Going on 20 years almost we've been playing together. So Nail Driven, like our first like real band outing, that formed in 2009. So it's 12 years ago. No, 13 years ago. It's been a long day, gentlemen.
It has.
Yeah, that was the first real band, 2009.
Man, I remember going to those shows. That was fun. That was a good time. I mean, honestly, I just started getting into heavier music.
Yeah.
At that period of time, so bands like Broom Horizon and stuff like that. So seeing a band like yours around Linton was pretty cool for me at that age because it was like, oh, other people like this stuff too.
Yeah. Our whole goal was like, what's the heaviest thing we can make?
Yeah. That's cool. And that's what I wanted to hear back then. So.
Exactly. Yeah, that's too. Like we gotta get it out. Whatever it is, it's gotta come out.
Okay, so what's your I don't like this term, but like you would call it guilty pleasure artist or song or anything like that you
I am
just go
so
to.
prepared. I'm in the middle of Nickelback.
Yeah.
I'm utterly obsessed right now. Like I don't get the hate.
So I don't get the hate either. I'll comment on. I made a comment on Facebook the other day about the metalcore sound that they have. Kind of, I want to say rip off, but I mean the rest. Yeah, I will say it, rip off. And it's like the most generic type of. But then again, I see what they're trying to do, and I appreciate it now that I've taken a few days to kind of think about it and stew on it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just being an elitist douchebag right now.
Dude, I feel you.
Yeah,
I listened to San Quentin before I came here.
Yeah.
And
What do you think about it?
It's like big fat giant sound. Like it's not metalcore like it was hyped up to be.
Yeah.
Metalcore is something entirely different to me. But like it does have all the airs of modern production.
Yeah, when I say the metalcore, it's not the riff, the structure of the I don't know. Getting at
It feels.
the feels, yeah, the feels of
It does. The drums are always nose drums, obviously, but like
They are
the
well
drums
produced.
Yeah, and they have that. Every metalcore drummer has drums that sound like that, right?
I do feel like opinions of them might be turning around. In the past year, I've noticed like more and more people that I personally know have like admitted, yeah, I like them.
Like everybody's
Like,
starting
a
to
lot.
whisper
Like
to each other,
everybody
like,
says they hate them, but like I like them. Yeah.
I like older Nickelback,
Oh, yeah.
and but I'll admit I do get a little gatekeepy when it comes to like the metalcore sound and just the whole.
Right.
It was hyped and that annoyed the crap out of me, but that's one of mine too. Lately, I've been really into like the Gin Blossoms. Like I've just been like going on a throwback to that '90s pop rock to try to kind of like put me in a better headspace.
Definitely.
Nickelback's a lot better answer than that though. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't know how I got on that, but yeah, it's thick right now.
that's it for the icebreaker questions. So so what's been going on with Adamic and like where's the tunes at, man?
Okay, so we played all summer, played these shows, and then we decided to take August and September off. We were just going to take August off, but Josiah had so much going on in September, we had to take that off too. So we decided to use any spare time we had to new merch, figuring out release schedule for all the new stuff, and it's all finally coming together. When are you releasing this podcast? 'Cause I can talk more if I know when it's releasing.
We can release it whenever.
Okay. How about after Monday?
We can do that.
Okay, that's
So,
perfect.
We're gonna act like this already been talked about. So, new song Heather drops October 7th.
October 7th.
Yes, so that's the next single. You'll see it'll be everywhere. We'll be posting about it all the time. We've got some exciting merch coming out for that. We've also got a new T-shirt. I should have wore it, but I didn't know when it was gonna come out. But we have a new shirt coming out.
Where can people buy your merch?
We have a website. You would ask me. It's squareup.com/store/Adamic. I want to say that's right.
Okay, we'll post a link on the video.
Yeah, so let's post a link.
And we'll put it in the info on this podcast, just to let fans know where they can show their support for you guys. And
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the making of this new EP that you've got brewing. You're half finished, I believe, right?
It's completely done. Yes.
That's exciting stuff. Let's talk about the process.
Okay.
Where'd you go to record it? How did that go? I'm interested to hear. I want to know.
Okay.
Let's hear it. Spill the beans.
Okay. So we went to Nashville, Tennessee. Josiah, through a series of crazy situations, ended up getting guitar lessons from the guy that ended up producing our EP, Andrew Stanton, and he's the guitar player for the band Disciple, a famous Christian band. And so we got with him and we're like, hey, we want to record a single at least. We have an EP's worth of material we'd like to do. We want to do a single for sure. So he set it up where we came down to Nashville for a week last summer, and he also knew Lester Estelle, who's where we did drums at. That's his house, where we recorded the drums. He's the drummer for the band Pillar from back in the day. He drums for Kelly Clarkson right now. And so we went down there. We did 3 days at Andrews working on Sounds Like a Voice. And then we spent the last 2 days at Lester's. And it was just like a dream. Like, yeah, it felt like I was actually like full-time working musician. Like this was my life for a whole week. And it was like a dream.
I tell you what, I was excited for you guys. I was showing my wife all your posts on Facebook, all your stories and stuff. I was excited for you guys. I think that's so cool. I really like both those bands.
Yeah.
Especially Disciple. They're just they're one of my favorites.
Great guys, great music. They're fundamental.
So I was listening to that single though, and I was just in awe of how well it was produced. And there was a change about 3 minutes in to Sounds Like a Voice. Seemed like the guitar tones changed, not the tones, the key maybe. I don't know.
That's a Josiah question.
It was a very interesting thing coming from you guys that I wasn't really expecting.
Yeah.
I didn't notice on the first few listens, and I was like, oh, that was thought through. That was thought through.
I do know we play around a lot with major swings and songs. I think that might be.
Yes, that's
most of the heavy stuff is all minor-y and dark, but like he's like really diving down the major rabbit hole.
The key definitely changes. It gets a little more upbeat.
Yeah, it's
and,
not so like sitting on you. Like it's kind of like a more uplifting.
Because that was, and I never, to be honest with you, I never got past that. That's a good way to describe that first few. But when I did notice that and started appreciating that, it helped me appreciate the entire song more.
Yeah.
And I just think that the whole song's well done, and it's got me even more excited to hear this EP.
So I just want to jump back for a second. You said that that would be a good question for Josiah as far as the songwriting process goes. Who all is involved in that? Is it just you and him? Or?
Yeah. So him and I get in a room, and usually there's no like we're gonna sit down and write music. It's like let's just play music. That's always the heart of it. Is like let's just jam and play whatever feels good in the moment. And usually it's wild, but when we jam in song structure. So like he'll find a riff, and then like we'll like okay, here's the moment it changes, and like we played together so long, like we have like this non-verbal, unconscious link, like here it comes, and then like we fall into whatever comes next, and it's all spontaneous. And if we like enough while we jammed, we get a phone out and document it. Like we make a demo on voice memos or whatever,
certain riff will come to Josiah, or a certain, whatever will come to you, and
Yeah.
it was from 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know I still do that.
Yeah, like there's stuff that we forget we have, and then like when it comes time to pick like what songs are going to go on a release, we'll go back into the vault and like, oh my gosh, I forgot that too, and it's like we need to do that this time and that this time. Like the bulk of the songs on the EP are from 2013, and like they're from September of 2013. So like some of the songs are 9 years old, and there's still stuff sitting from before that that's going to be recorded really soon. So yeah, it's just him and I. We just get together and make it happen.
So I know you've enlisted some help for your live shows on the drums. We just wrote him up. I made him look real good on SoundVision. We really love that guy. Do you have any plans of maybe adding a full-time member, or no, we're just going to keep it you two?
Not currently. Him and I have talked about it a lot because I mean that's something we have to think about, and we have such a vision for the band, just the two of us. Like we both understand each other so well. Like we don't want to do anything that would mess with that. And it's nothing against anybody. It's just like what we have is pure and it's got us this far. And we want to just see where it leads.
That's pretty cool, man.
And it doesn't like close the door in anybody's face. Like it's not like I'm saying like never ever ever. But for now, like that's the way we're gonna do it. Yeah, it's neat. Like we've known each other since we were 4 years old. Like we've been best friends for 25 years, and like it's neat that we're still together as friends even. And then like it makes the music really special because like not a lot of bands have that kind of history connection with each other. So it's neat to see it played out.
You two are some of the most laid back guys I think I've ever met. Just friendliest crew.
I appreciate that very much.
So we did see you in Jasonville one time over the summer.
Yeah. That was a wild day.
That was pretty. It was hot.
It was
a hot day.
Yeah.
So what was the coolest place you played this summer?
I know right immediately. It was the release up in Greenwood, Indiana. I'd never heard of this place, and apparently there's a band out of Indy. I know they're out of the Franklin, Indy area called Brother Oh Brother, and like their singer guitar player dude has his hand in all kinds of like projects and things, and I'm pretty sure he helped set this place up called the Release in Greenwood. And it's like upstairs in this storefront building. You really wouldn't know what it is from the ground out in the front. You go up there and it's like super nice, finished out hardwood floor. It's got this big stage with like a really nice light rack, killer sound, pizza bar. Like it's so nice, and like that was such a blast. Like the sound guy like did us right, treated us so well, and like had a great crowd. Sounded killer. Like it was just like the perfect show for us right now.
Yeah.
We still talk about it. Yeah.
So you guys ever do any like basement shows, or is that too punk rock for you?
No, our very first show was in a dude's living room in West Terre Haute.
Oh, yeah.
That Halloween party. Like we were in some dude's living room, and I was singing and drumming, and Josiah was on guitar, and like that's probably the most basement-y show. Nail Driven Days, we played like a legit basement of like a big scary building in Clinton. We love that. But, that's probably the closest we come to just like dank 90s basement.
Yeah. Some of these bands I've been talking to lately, they're all playing basement shows and just like real. I'm just like, yeah, that sounds cool, but I don't know if I want to do it all the time.
No, I wouldn't want to like make like a basement tour or anything. But like, I'm willing to play just about anywhere.
That's cool, man. You got any shows upcoming?
We just have Lamb Jam on the calendar right now for October 15th. We play at 6 p.m. and then we're actively booking right now. Like, if you're listening to this, you need a band, bring on the shows, please.
Cool. So going back to Josiah for a second. Really wish he was here. Should have got with him too.
Yeah.
But Josiah, I'm sorry. But what do you think? I'm gonna put you on the spot here. What do you think is Josiah's? What do you think
stuff, like it makes me want to cry because like I can like hear this heart in it and I can hear these emotions in it. Like there's always this undertone or like this twist he'll put on things. Like it's not just like let's slam bar chords and breakdowns. Like there's always some sort of heart and soul into like every riff he writes. And like sometimes I'll just sit and watch him play and just stare at his hands playing the guitar because he's just so, I don't know, he's like my favorite guitar player.
Brotherly love.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
I can't say enough good about that guy. But that's probably my favorite strength of his and his ability to just be creative in the moment. And he has such a great perspective on like songwriting and producing and like what we should do when in each song when we really sit down and demo it out like in the real multi-track way. Like he's great at that too.
So who would you say are your three most influential artists?
Okay. Rush, Devin Townsend, and Al City.
I'm actually not surprised to hear any of those.
Yeah.
I thought for a second about the Al City, and I'm like, no, that checks out. Just because I think I knew that you were into Al City.
Oh yeah, I probably post about my story all the time.
So maybe explain that one because that's the one that makes the least sense.
Yeah. Rush is from Dad, and then Devin Townsend's from being a teenager and finding him. Al City, back in the MySpace days, like I think I remember my cousin Ellery like was posting about Al City, and I was like, "What is this?" And I just fell in love with it. And like his music just feels like an old friend to me. Like it's nostalgic, but it's also like he posted in the past back on his page, like he's like, if you appreciate these songs, like you have known me as a friend, and like he feels like a friend even though I've never met him.
Yeah.
And his music just inspires the heck out of me. There's such a specific sound to it, especially like his instrumental project, War Blue. It's like two of my favorite records of all time. It's like his instrumental stuff that nobody knows about.
Yeah, I love a good instrumental record.
Oh yeah, it's like elevator music's like one of my favorite things to like just put on and live.
I have a cousin actually that's cool that she's a lot of the bands that I'm into even still today. She was a couple grades ahead of me. Jalen.
Oh yeah.
She was into like the Used and this band called Shiny Toy Guns, and they're kind of obscure. And I was just like, man, I just really like this. I don't know why, And she brought me the CD and got me really into them. And that's still I talk about them all the time. When Kayla asked me like, what do you listen to? I'm like, oh, Shiny Toy Guns. She's like, who? I'm like, who is that?
My old friends.
Exactly, my old friend. I love that nostalgic feeling, and that's something that it sounds like a voice single kind of brings to the table for me, at least. Is that kind of nostalgic? It's just rock, mostly to me.
Yeah.
That's a compliment. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, we love early 2000s rock. Like that's one of our mutual loves. Him and I is like early 2000s hard rock, and like that's always in his playing, and like that's always like when I'm trying to like figure out what to play to a song. Like that's definitely a huge driving force in that. It's like I'm always happy when we get compared to that. I'm like, yes, we sound like what we want to sound like.
That's cool. So yeah, I think where are we at now? What's the time?
24 minutes.
24 minutes. Okay, my wife is probably about to burn this whole house down. So it's been really great talking to you.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug real quick or say to the fans? Or?
Heather, October 7th. Look for more music coming after that as soon as possible. We have a tentative schedule, but nothing I can speak about yet. Come see the show October 15th, Lamb Jam. Get a new shirt on our merch site, which the link will be in the description. Somewhere.
One other question. How long has Lamb Jam been going on now? I did not know that it was still.
Yeah, 2010 was the year that Virgil and Shane came up with it. This will be the 12th year, I believe. I don't know if they ever took a year off. I don't know if they missed the COVID year or not.
I know I've been to a few. Yeah, I'm not
I
sure
remember
what
like some of the first ones, and those were pretty cool back in the day.
Yeah, there was a lot of.
Excited to go check them out. Any other bands that are coming that?
Oh man, I looked at the lineup and I didn't recognize anybody. The scene that I knew it is gone.
Right.
And like I don't hardly know anybody. I know Chess Club exists.
Yeah.
I feel bad right now. I can't remember some of the other bands we played.
And this is why I kind of want to to start SoundVision and stuff like that because I started, thinking about it. I'm like, back in the 2010s, there was all sorts of cool music coming out here. There was like all these bands coming out of Greene County, Indiana. It's like, they're not around anymore. You guys are pretty well the only ones. So
yeah, and there's like the places we used to play,
they're all gone.
And, like there's some familiar faces here and there, but like it's funny how the landscape's just completely changed in 10 years.
All right, well, thank you for joining us.
Probably appreciate it.
We're really happy to have you. Go check out Adamic. Go check out their merch. Support them any way you can. Thanks for watching.